What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of The Real Build. I'm your host, Bill Ryman, your broker builder. And today I'm bringing you a solo episode on a very, very important topic. But before we get into that, obviously, you all know the routine. I don't ask for anything but for you to share this with your friends and family, and also just comment and rate this podcast because it makes it go a long way. A lot of great reviews on this. You guys are killing it with the reviews. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate all you guys that tune in each and every week. We took a week off last week. We've been very, very consistent, but we are back and we have a lot of great episodes planned. But today's episode, I was actually going to launch another episode in front of this one. But this topic actually came from one of the listeners, and I just had to record and go over this because it's so important, because a lot of people are facing this topic right now. This one comes from a listener. Her name is Meredith. Her and her husband are actually in the process of renovating a home, and they wanted me to kind of. She reached out to me asking my thoughts on, you know, some key things that they should be looking for when they're interviewing a contractor, or in their case, a remodeler. And I was like, man, I know I've done some stuff before the build and so on, but never really keyed really in on this process, and kind of thought about this personally too. I thought about, okay, if I was going to a builder, what would I want? What are some things that I would do? So I responded to her off the top of my head with a whole list of things. And after looking at that list, I was like, man, I should, wow, I should record a episode on this. This is pretty important stuff. And, because a lot of people out there are in the process of trying to select a builder, select a remodeler, select a contractor, whether it's commercial or what, or, residential or whatever, and they don't really know how to go about it. I mean, it's such a big investment, no matter if you're remodeling or building, and with costs the way that, costs obviously have gone up. And you don't want to make the mistake of, and it's a long process too. You don't want to go through the process with headaches and have a nightmare, by the time it's said and done. You want this process to go as smooth as possible, and you want to end up happy in the end that you made the right decision, that everything you envisioned has come to life. And that's what I wanted to cover today. So shout out to Meredith for this question on Instagram that she shot me. And guys, don't ever hesitate. If you're a listener out there, you can follow me at I'm Bill Ryman. It's I am Bill Ryman. So the letter I, letter M, Bill Ryman on Instagram. And feel free to reach out to me, DM me any kind of questions you have. I'm always willing to help. I responded to her as soon as I could, and that's what I'm here to do. That's what this show's all about. But let's get into this a little bit. So, key things you should look for when interviewing contractors. Obviously, big investment, like I said. And so when you're going into this, the first thing that popped into my head, and these are in no specific order, but this first one is very important, is experience. Experience matters. There's a lot of new builders out there, a lot of new contractors, remodelers. Times are good, things are busy. People are getting into the game a little bit. They're trying to make money. Experience does matter. People, builders that have been around for a long time have been around for a long time for a reason. And that's what I'm getting at with this. So when you go and sit down in the interview with whatever contractor you're interviewing, I always suggest at least trying to find a few of them, schedule appointments with them, ask how many years they've been doing it. How many years have you been in business? When did you first get started? What project did you start with? Where'd you come from with it? Is it a family business? Like me personally, I grew up in the business. So our business is established for over 25 years, family owned, operated. Me and my brother and I are actually currently running things right now. You guys have heard that. But experience matters, and people having that experience goes a long way. with being able to resolve things and get through the process a lot easier. No offense to new builders, there's a lot of great new builders out there. If I was looking for somebody, this is me personally, what popped in my head, having some kind of experience and a few projects under your belt is a big thing that I would be looking for. And then the next thing I would say is, how many projects have they done? Now, certain builders will tell you they've done more projects than, or contractors will tell you they've done more projects than they actually have. So that's where you got to key in on things a little bit. I've heard this in the past where somebody came in, they said, well, we were talking to this builder. They've said they've built, they've been in business down in this area for years and years and done a ton of projects. When in reality, they've been in business for like 2 years and built like 4 houses. So I actually had a map when people would walk in, and it had every single house we built, so they could see, physically see what we've built. But that goes, into the next thing too. How many have they built? Okay, if they've built 20 project or done 20 remodels or 50 remodels, okay, where are those remodels? Where was the locations? Can we go look at a couple of the projects that you've done in the past, and then also look at current projects as well? This is very important because you want to see their work, what actually they've done. Look at everything as close as possible. If you do see work they've done, walk around, look close, don't feel like you're pestering them, just start looking at things. I mean, if you're allowed to touch stuff, look at the cabinetry, look at the flooring, look at the molding and the trim material, how they did it. Are the joints lined up? Look very close. How are the cabinets lined up? Are they nice cabinets, self-close? How are the drawers, dovetail? What kind of appliances are in it, and how's the tile grout, and how's the tile lineup, or the wood floors look, how's thresholds in between each room. Just small little details. Look at the door hinges. I always tell people to look at the little minute, little details that you wouldn't even think about. They go a long way. So you could reach out to me if you want some more details and stuff to look at too. Another thing moving along here, trust. Now, you got to have trust with whoever you choose. And you're going to establish this trust over time more and more. But in the beginning process, us as human beings, we know who we're comfortable with. We know who we're comfortable to be around, who makes us feel good, who we mesh with, who we click with right off the bat. If it's somebody that has a good personality that meshes with ours, you're more than likely you're going to want to continue that relationship with them, unless you're very price driven. A lot of people are just shopping price. I don't recommend that. I recommend, and that's one of these things too, is not just shopping price. Obviously, you need to look at price and make sure they're not gouging you. We'll get into that a little bit, but trust is key. So you got to trust who you're going to work with, and you'll be able to establish that after the first couple of meetings usually, and you'll start to feel, okay, this guy's trustworthy. I like what he's saying. He's answering my questions correctly. He's not beating around the bush and kind of going a different direction with whatever I ask him. So trust whoever you choose. It needs to be, because you're in a long relationship with that builder or that contractor. It's not a short-term thing. And I always, like, down here in Florida, we're in a relationship on these big projects for 3 years with people, if not longer. So, and I always talked about, obviously, we're in relationships with them from, as long as they're a customer of ours, we want to have that relationship continuous with them. That's a whole nother subject, but trust is a key factor. Now, the next thing is ask for some referrals too. Okay. And if you ask for referrals, don't let them just give you one referral. They give you the one guy that was happy with the work they did. No, no, no. You need to ask. I always say at least get like 7, 8, 10. Somebody asked me for referrals, I send them 10 referrals. They should, if they've been around a long time, they shouldn't have an issue sending you multiple names. You don't have to call them all. You can call them all. I've had a customer call all 10 I've sent them. But at least get like 5 minimum. They got to give you more than 2. So those people will be their past customers. They went through the experience. Ask those referrals too, because don't be afraid to reach out. If they don't answer or don't want to talk to you, they don't want to talk to you. But some of them are going to be willing to talk about their experiences, let you know how things went. That's very important because you're getting the view of a different person, not just the contractor, and that'll go a long way as well. Another thing, these days, obviously, Google reviews, they're very popular. A lot of customers go to them. I personally work on our Google reviews with clients. I try and get them to review after each closing. Sometimes it's hard to get them to do it, but a lot of builders are doing it now, and remodel people are doing it right now. So contractors should be getting reviews because it's so key these days. So just check if they don't have them. I mean, not all contractors have them, but a lot of good ones that want to keep advancing or kind of been focusing on those too. So check for those, obviously. Another thing, like I said, this is kind of going off the trust thing, but it's also clicking with the builder's team. So you're not just going to be working with a builder. You might be working with a superintendent. You might be working with a designer inside. You might be working with the girl in the office that handles all the paperwork and the bookkeeping. You got to be able to click with everybody on that builder's team. It's very important because unless that builder is a one-man show, which usually they're not unless they're smaller, but like us, we have a team. We have people in the office that kind of do everything. We have people out in the field that do certain things. So everybody's got kind of different tasks that they're doing, but you need to be able to mesh with everybody that is on that team, because you're not going to be working just with the builder you like. You got to be working with everybody else. And that's, it's a small thing, but I think it's important. Their superintendent may not talk much, but at least if he's got some personality and a click with them and he does good work and he's got an eye just like the builder and for quality and so on, that's important because superintendent is a big part of the actual construction process and project. So just keep that top of mind. How do they handle payments? Is it month to month? How will they, confirm the work is done before they request a draw or a payment from you? So talk about that, because if they got a bookkeeper or whatever, can't, a lot of people, my sister does all our bookkeeping, and a lot of the clients too, I'll have them meet with her or bring her into our meeting so they can meet her. So there's, once again, meeting with the team, and then also kind of put a face to who they're going to be dealing with on the bookkeeping end. Obviously, if there's an issue with money or anything like that, it goes to me. I handle a lot of that, but I want them to be familiar with the person that's doing it and also be familiar with the process as well. So how are we billing? What are you getting when we bill you? What are you seeing? Obviously being cost plus, it's going to be different than fixed costs. The billing, maybe they request draws from you at certain stages of construction, or they're doing month-to-month payments, where it's like a cost plus thing where you're seeing every bill that they've paid and then you're paying their percentage on top. So you kind of got to figure that out too, because obviously you're paying them, notice to owner, stuff like that. Just ask about it. Liens, you got to figure out all this stuff because it's your money. You want your money secure. You don't want to just be paying a builder and then they're paying for another project to keep that moving. I've said this in the past: rob Peter, pay Paul. Some builders do that. You just need to know where your money's going. That's very important because, like I said, just know where it's going. Anyway, is it cost plus versus fixed cost? This was what I just touched on. What's their markups? If, what are they charging a percentage on cost plus? How are they doing the billing? Like I said, is it fixed cost? Okay, what's your markups if I go over on my allowances? What am I allowed to go over on? What am I allowed to change? Are you setting things in stone? Can I change this thing? And back to the payments, what do you how late or how long do I have to make a payment before you charge me any extra? A lot of this should be spelled out in a contract too. So I just want to make sure cover that right there. But if they don't, these things need to be addressed up front and put into writing as well. So it should be in their contract so you know exactly how this is all structured. Another important thing is walkthroughs. Now, some builders have limited stuff, some contractors do. If you're in a remodel and you're living in the house, this is a different situation. But obviously, new construction, we have walkthroughs because we're so custom. We have quite a few of them, and we like them. I mean, it's that one we meet, whether it's once every couple of months or whatever, with the client. If they're a lot of our clients are from out of town, so it just helps because they can see the progress, and obviously if something was missed, we can address it, or if something doesn't look right to them, we can address it too. So it's not all like, a cluster at the end and on closing day, and they're like, why is that like this and this. We having a lot of walkthroughs, you don't, and it's up to the builder on this. Some builders are different, they don't like to do a lot of them. They kind of have certain time frames, maybe one at the end or one in between. But it just depends on the client, the project, the caliber of the project too. If it's very detailed, I don't know, I just recommend a lot of walkthroughs because we don't like to miss things. And I'm so big on communication as a contractor that, that's just how our company has always operated. Our team has always operated as well. So just keep that top of mind too. Walkthroughs. And what a walkthrough is, what I mean by that is you're going with the builder and maybe the superintendent, and you're kind of walking through. You kind of have a list of questions and you ask the builder, you address those questions as you go room to room in the house too. Some of them can take an hour, maybe some of them. I had one the other day that took a couple hours, and we had a lot to address. It's a big house, but we make time in our schedule for it. That's what we're paid. We're getting paid to build a project. We're getting paid to, build a dream home for somebody, and they want it a certain way. And I just think walkthroughs are very, very important. Another thing, do they give you a list of featured items? So one thing we do prior to the build is we kind of give a very, very detailed feature list, I call it, or spec sheet. It addresses everything that is going into the project. Now things change, don't get me wrong. So a lot of it, can fluctuate, but it in the beginning, there's still a lot of those questions, and that's what we're addressing here. That having a detailed feature list, room by room or line item by line, like electrical and how the process goes, down. Like for mine, we start at permit and then we finish at the final CO of the house, but it's all in order, very detailed. And everybody likes it because they can kind of steps through the process, but it shows them what initially in my quote or my estimate that I'm giving them, so they have top of mind, and I kind of estimate certain things as well and bid out certain things. So some kind of feature list spec sheet is highly, highly recommended. If they don't give you one, I don't agree with that. They got to give you something for the money you're paying, just so you know what's going on, because going into it blind is never a good idea. Warranty, and like I said, these aren't in any order. Obviously warranties after the project is done, but how long are they going to cover the project warranty wise? Obviously a lot of builders give a full 1 year. That's kind of your industry standard, but what's covered, what's not, what's got an extended longer warranty that's not in the builder standard. Asking these questions is very important. What if something happens after warranty that should have not have happened? Now I've talked about in past episodes things that we have gone back and fixed. Technically we're way out of warranty, we didn't have to do it, but we still did it. I'm working on one right now. It's a staircase, outdoor staircase. There was a crack in it, and we're making sure that's fixed. They're out of warranty, but it should have not have happened. But the staircase was put in after the fact. Without getting into too much detail, structurally, it was done after the fact. If we would have known they wanted it at the beginning, this would not happen. But we put it in. we're responsible, I think, and we're going to take care of it for them, make sure things are right. And that's important when finding a builder, somebody that's going to be reliable no matter what. I mean, they should be fixing, some aren't. I mean, you might never hear from, that's the problem though. If you don't hear from them on the warranty, that's, you shouldn't be working with them. A good builder that actually cares and has a conscience is going to go back, they're going to talk to you, they're going to look at the situation. Even if it isn't the builder's fault, that builder, you should be able to still contact them or their office after the fact, even 10 years down the road, and say, hey, I got an issue. I don't know if you have time to look at it, or if you know somebody that you can send over to do it. Obviously, it's not your fault, but we just need help with this. That's what we do and how we work. We want to stay top of mind. We always want to help our customers 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road. It's just you're in one of our houses you built. We want to maintain that relationship. That's the difference maker right there. Clean job sites is a must. When you go and look at one of their past or one of their current projects, make sure it's clean, but ask to look at a few of them too. So that you didn't just head to one that they had his guy clean up, or his labor or somebody was there cleaning up real quick. Just ask them to look at a few. Make sure stuff's not scattered all over the place. You don't have lumber all over the floor where you're tripping all over things, dirt all over the floor. Just make sure they're constantly clean. We're fanatics about clean job sites. That just shows you how the builder is and how much they actually care about their product. It's the little things, trust me. Project timeframes, you need to know this. Ask them. Obviously, we're in a different time these days with material delays and so on. But that contractor should be upfront about those things with you. If he or she's experiencing any kind of delays, they should let you know right away what they're experiencing and why. And if they know it's going to get better, maybe they should tell you. But if there's an issue, they need to tell you as well. We've been very upfront with our clients about delays, time frames, what I think. I mean, I've lost jobs on time frames because just being honest with people is what you got to do, and a lot of builders just are not honest. I'm talking to a guy now, is 7,000 plus square foot house, and builder is telling them they can do it in 14 months. That's impossible. It's just not going to happen. Down here it won't. Up north, yes, but down here, no. And I don't know what builder he's talking to. He didn't tell me, but I told him just tread lightly on that one. My time frame to him on 7,000 square feet with all the detail this project has, it could be close to a 2-year project, 20 months, 18 months tops, or the soonest. But without getting into it too much, I'm just saying you want honesty. So project timeframes, look into that. Make sure they're honest. Ask when you're interviewing these builders, see how their timeframes line up. If they're all similar, close to the same, then they should all be good. Another thing, what's their expectation for or actually here, what does their selections and schedule of selections to be made look like? So we have a kind of a selection process. That's how we work. If you're doing a remodel, you're still going to have that too. When are your selection scheduled? When's that need to be done? Because now with times the way they are, we're having to order things a lot faster and a lot sooner than we used to. So they need to be upfront about that, because if they're ordering things later, and this one, people don't even think about this, but nowadays you have to. If they're telling you, no, you're fine, we'll just wait on that, blah, blah, blah. No, because you're going to be missing appliances. You're going to be missing tile. Your tiles, it's going to be delayed 8 weeks. There's going to be one thing after the other that's just going to piss you off. So just make sure, how are they doing their selections? When do they need them by? Is it right away? What's their time frames on them? Can they get certain things? Can they not get certain things? You just need to find out about this, because it's going to save you a lot of headaches these days, because with things the way they are and how busy everybody is, just get ahead. That's why I'm here. I'm here today helping you. So this one is very important, especially nowadays. Another thing is, do they offer in-house design help? I mean, there we have a girl in-house. She's actually my fiance. She does a great job as far as selections and helping them with their design. She doesn't do the furnishings. That's coming soon to RK Ryman Construction, hopefully Ryman Design, but that'll be in the future. That's a future goal. But right now she's just helping with the interior selections of the house and being a part of that process. If there's a designer involved, obviously she is still involved with that designer, taking notes, making sure all these selections are ordered and are correct. So it goes a long way, even on with a remodeler on these big projects. Everything needs to be so detailed and written down, and that goes to the last thing. Detail matters. Make sure everything is being written down. Make sure you sign off on everything. They ask you, they double check it. You do a tile order, make sure you're seeing what you ordered prior to them just saying, up, we're going to order it. Verified things, appliance selections, plumbing selections, lighting selections. All these things need to be double checked. They need to send them to you just to verify before they do their orders. That's why getting ahead of these things matters. So, guys, that's my episode today. Please feel free to reach out. I probably could have went on more and more with this, but if you have questions prior to selecting a contractor, I am happy to help. I've been doing this. I grew up in this business for a long time. I've been taught to do it the right way by my dad. So it's that's what the show's about. I'm very passionate about this subject. So Meredith, shout out to you for asking this question. I really appreciate you listening as well. And all that listen, whether you're hiring a builder to build a new construction or hiring somebody to do a remodel or even doing a commercial job, you just focus on these things and it will help you, and it'll save you a lot of headaches, I hope. So guys, like I always do, I appreciate y'all listening to this. I appreciate everybody. It's crazy how much the show keeps growing. So I can't thank you enough. Like, comment, share it. 5 stars are only accepted, as you know. Comment on iTunes. It goes a long way. 5 stars on iTunes. Those reviews keep coming in, and I really appreciate it. It takes you literally 2 seconds to do it. So just hit the 5 star mark on iTunes, please. And anyway, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for listening, and I will see you on the next one.